Five of Cups, the Star. Yeah, you're in this feeling of like loss. You feel like you've lost a lot along this journey. You feel like you've lost a lot of people. You feel like you've lost a lot of friends, family. It feels like you know you have lost a lot on this journey. And it feels like as the star, you no matter how many people you were losing, no matter how many losses that you had to go through, no matter how many times you got hit and you had to stand back up, you refuse to give up hope. You refuse to give up with your faith in the divine, with your faith in God and what they were telling you internally, intuitively, what the divine was telling you. They kept forcing you to see the light at the end of the tunnel. They kept forcing you to realize that you were this light that was meant to be seen. And it's like that it took all of this loss kind of for you to realize maybe what your true purpose was and maybe what you were really meant to come here and do. Yeah, you are somebody that has always been very divinely guided. You've always been very intuitively gifted. You've had a lot of power your entire life, and the people around you, your friends, your family, your significant others, they've always known the influence that you've had. They've always known, kind of like who you were, and maybe they couldn't like really put their finger on it. Like maybe in their mind, like they knew you were different, but they didn't know maybe that you were meant for much greater, which is fine because you didn't either. You didn't know that you were this person either, but you have come to show a lot of people that you are not somebody to be fucked with. You are not somebody to be counted out and to be maybe spoken of in a certain way. You are somebody that very much puts their money where their mouth is. You are somebody that very much when they say something, it may take you a while to get there. It may take you a while to do it, but you always do it. You always show up in one way or another, and it feels like you really like refuse to give up on yourself and refuse to give up on your gifts and your power, and you continue to show up for yourself. And it feels like there were many days where you maybe wanted to quit and maybe you wanted to like give up on yourself or maybe like not see yourself in this light, but the divine like refused. They refused to let you see yourself in a smaller light. You are somebody that has a lot of influence over other people, and you are somebody that has definitely influenced the lives that you have touched, definitely influenced the lives that you have been a part of. And it feels like this is like friends, family, anybody that you have crossed paths with on this very long journey. And it feels like, especially in means of relationships, you have definitely been a guiding light for others. You have definitely been a safe space and kind of like this feeling of home for the people that you've dated or the people that you had romantic partnerships with. It feels like maybe like in the past, like people, you weren't like the prettiest, you were an ugly duckling. Like you, in a way, like had people that were attracted to you that were maybe considered like cool or like very like good looking and hot, and the people around these energies like could never understand like what it was about you that was like so interesting or so good or so like inspiring to be with. Like there were a lot of people that really like did not see your power because they weren't close enough to see your power, but they saw how people reacted around you. They saw how maybe the men or the women in your relationships treated you or reacted to the way that you would pull your energy back or give your energy. And it's almost like it puzzled them. Like, what is so great about this person? What is so great about them? Like, they're not even pretty. They don't even have a nice body. They don't even, like, what is so great about this person? What can they give to you? And it was the energy. It was the energy that you had. It was literally the deepness and the love that you gave to others that was unseen to the naked eye, that was unseen to people that weren't intuitively tapped in, to people that weren't intuitively tapped in or connected to the divine, the devil. Yeah. And because of this, like, you have had some toxic ass people take hold of you. You have had toxic people. You have had toxic family systems. You have had toxic energies come at you left and right to kind of like put you down or to like knock you off your pedestal, to make you feel less than, to make you feel like you were not like somebody to be desired. You were not somebody that was that great or was that cool or was that pretty. These people really, you made a lot of people insecure. It feels like friends, especially, you made a lot of people insecure, and it almost made them like subconsciously obsessed with wanting to kind of like knock you down and put you in your place. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, but you kind of learned how to deal with people like this. You knew that these people felt a certain type of way about you, but I think in the past you probably just assumed that was your anxiety, or assumed that was you just like thinking the worst of a situation, thinking the worst of people, always being insecure and wondering like why people had this weird energy towards you, why people felt this way towards you, or why they did the things they did in your energy. And you kind of like learned to balance it. You kind of like learned to deal with it. You learned that you were just a very different soul, and that there was something that really pissed people off about you. With the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, it feels like there has been like so much conflict in your life with others, to where you've had to almost in a way like rise above it. You've had to almost in a way like remove yourself from these environments, from these situations. There was always so much tension and conflict between you and these toxic, very toxic energies in your life, to where it felt like it was like this push and pull of like who was better and who maybe like had the control in a situation. But in reality, you just felt the tension. You just felt that these people like would like you one day, and then the other day they would like completely shit on you and treat you an entirely different way. Like you really, really had to work hard to kind of like not let this affect you. It's almost like you made an art form of it. You've made an art form of not letting other people's energy touch you because of the environments you grew up in. It was like Battleground Zero. Like you learned a lot from the people that you had to deal with. Eight of Swords, yeah, and you always just felt trapped in these relationships, in these friendships, in these like family systems. You always just felt trapped, and it always gave you so much anxiety. It always made you so frustrated internally, because you were like, I just want to like not be in this environment. I just want to say how I feel. But you maybe felt like you felt like you couldn't be honest, and you couldn't speak your piece because of maybe the energies that were surrounding you that wanted to immediately like make you feel stupid, make you feel small for even speaking your opinion. Energies around you that wanted to make you seem like, oh, poor thing. Like you're just assuming, you just have anxiety. You just this, you just that. And it's just like, no, you had to finally realize, like, once you broke out of that trap, once you broke out of that, like, very toxic trap that you were maybe like emboldened in, then you could see it for what it truly was. Then you could see that you weren't assuming things in the past. You weren't just being maybe like anxious or extra. Like you were feeling the energy and you were reading the energy, but you just didn't know that you had this power. And now that you do, you look back on these experiences, you look back on these relationships and these energies that you surrounded yourself with, and you were like, yeah, like I knew what was going on in that situation. Yeah, I actually did read that situation right. And you get confirmation of it now. Like you get dreams, you get visions, you get straight up confirmation from the divine for the things that you knew you were right about in the past, but maybe other people around you made you feel like you weren't. 8 of Cups. But yeah, you knew that there had to be a change. You knew that there had to be a shift in your energy. You knew that there had to be a change in the way that you saw people, and the way that you saw the environments that you placed yourself in, and the way that you saw maybe the people that you placed yourself around, and the people that you gave your energy to and your love to. You had to kind of like change the way you saw things. There was a huge shift in your energy to where you, literally started just removing yourself from these people, these situations, whoever didn't want to have to like understand you. They just like wrote you off as being like maybe depressed or crazy, or, she's dealt with a lot. Like, who knows what the fuck is going on in her mind? Who knows what the fuck is going on in her head? But once you removed yourself from these environments, from these situations, like your mind became so calm and the memories came back like a movie, like a movie screen in your mind. Like, it was so clear, and it's almost like you were visiting these times again. You were traveling in your mind back to these times and seeing them for what they truly were. Wheel of Fortune. And that is the way the cookie crumbles. That is maybe like what has been meant to happen in your life. Like, it feels like you have a higher destiny here. You have a higher calling here, and you were meant to do something very, very great in this world. Hence why you were maybe placed in this very difficult and very toxic environment that you grew up in, or that you were placed in. There is something much bigger and much more divinely orchestrated than you believe, and you are meant for a lot more in this world, and you are meant to be seen in the light that you see yourself. And the divine was never going to let you stay comfortable in those situations that you were in. The divine was never going to let you stay comfortable in that energy you were in, because they knew that you have a divine plan, you have a divine purpose, and you didn't come here to play small. You did not come here to make friends. You came here for a specific reason, and you have now kind of like stepped into that power and realized that. If this message resonates with you, comment below. If you want to get a personal with me, link is in my bio.